The auction house floated in the void like a forgotten dream. It was nothing special, just another surplus station orbiting a dead moon in the outer territories. Captain Zara Okonkwo stepped off her small transport shuttle and onto the grimy docking platform. Her boots made hollow sounds against the metal floor. She was here for one reason: desperation. Her freight company was 3 months behind on payments. Her crew of 4 hadn't been paid in 6 weeks. Her ship, the Morning Star, needed engine repairs she couldn't afford. So when she heard about a government auction selling old military surplus for almost nothing, she scraped together what little credits she had and came. The auction hall was crowded with scavengers, traders, and opportunists from a dozen different species. Zara recognized most of them, the usual vultures who picked through the bones of failed colonies and bankrupt corporations. The air smelled like recycled oxygen and desperation. A tall, thin alien with blue skin and 4 arms stood at the podium. His species was called the Varanthi, and they ran most of the salvage operations in this sector. He spoke in rapid clicks and whistles, which the universal translator in Zara's ear converted to basic English. Lot 423, 12 crates of outdated mining equipment. Starting bid, 500 credits. Zara began to wonder if this trip was a waste of time and credits she didn't have. Then something strange happened. Lot 847, the Varanthi auctioneer announced, but his voice changed. It became faster, nervous. 1 Galactic cruiser, class unknown, origin unknown. Sold as is, no guarantees. Starting bid, 1,000 credits. Even a broken one was worth millions in scrap metal alone. Zara leaned forward in her seat. Something was wrong here. The auctioneer's 4 arms trembled slightly. Any bids? 1,000 credits for a full-sized cruiser, perfect for salvage operations. An old Kryn trader sitting near Zara muttered something under his breath. The translator caught it. Cursed ship. 3 owners all disappeared. Smart people stay away. 1,000 credits. Cursed ship or not, she needed something big to change her luck. And a cruiser, even a broken one, was exactly that. After the auction ended, Zara approached the payment terminal. The Varanthi auctioneer was already there, processing paperwork with his multiple arms. "Your payment, Captain," he said without looking at her. Zara transferred the credits, nearly everything she had left. "Where is the ship?" "I must tell you something, human. That ship, it is not normal. Previous owners reported. Strange things, voices, visions. One owner said the ship was alive. Maybe the AI was glitchy. That's why it ended up here. Perhaps you will see what others could not." Her datapad beeped, access codes received. The bay doors opened with a hiss of hydraulics. Zara stepped inside and stopped breathing. The ship was massive. It filled the entire bay, its hull dark and gleaming under the harsh station lights. But it wasn't like any ship Zara had ever seen. Most vessels were built with clean lines and geometric shapes, efficient, practical designs. This ship was different. Its hull looked almost organic, like it had been grown instead of built. Smooth curves flowed into sharp edges. Strange patterns covered the surface. Were those veins? The whole thing looked less like a machine and more like a sleeping creature. "What the hell did I just buy?" Zara whispered. She approached the airlock. Her datapad showed the access code and she entered it carefully. For a moment nothing happened. Then the airlock opened by itself. No sound, no hydraulics. The door simply opened like a mouth yawning awake. Zara hesitated. Every instinct told her to turn around and leave, but she had just spent her last 1,000 credits on this thing. She needed to at least see what was inside. She stepped through the airlock. The interior was dark. Emergency lights flickered on as she walked, illuminating corridors that curved and twisted in ways that made no architectural sense. The walls had that same organic texture, smooth but somehow textured, warm to the touch. "Hello," her voice echoed strangely. No response. Zara made her way toward what she hoped was the bridge. The ship was enormous, with dozens of corridors branching in all directions. She got lost twice before finding a large chamber at the front of the vessel. The bridge was circular, with a command chair in the center. But there were no control panels, no view screens, no instruments. Just the chair, surrounded by those strange organic walls. Zara approached the chair carefully. It looked designed for a human or at least a humanoid species. She sat down. The moment she touched the armrests, everything changed. The walls erupted with light. Images flooded her mind, not through her eyes but directly into her brain. She saw battles in space, fleets of thousands destroying each other with weapons that tore holes in reality. She saw entire planets burning. She saw a species she didn't recognize, tall, elegant beings with crystalline skin directing the destruction. And she heard a voice. "Finally, you are here. I'm nobody, just a broke freight captain who made a stupid impulse buy." They were building something, enormous structures that connected entire star systems. They were creating technology that other species would use for thousands of years. "Who are they?" Zara asked. "The architects, the predecessors, the makers." Every species in this galaxy calls them something different. They vanished 10,000 years ago. Everyone believes they ascended to a higher plane of existence. They did something far worse. The ship projected an image in front of her, a hologram showing space outside the station. She saw them immediately. 6 Galactic Authority warships dropping out of FTL, surrounding the station. A transmission crackled through the ship's systems. A cold, mechanical voice filled the bridge. "Unidentified vessel in Docking Bay 7. This is Galactic Authority Command. You are in possession of prohibited technology. Power down immediately and prepare to be boarded. Failure to comply will result in destruction of your vessel and the station. Now, get us out of here." The bay doors exploded outward before they could fully open, and then they were moving. "Brace yourself," Witness said inside her mind. Zara barely had time to grip the armrests before the ship accelerated, but there was no crushing force, no pressure against her chest. Whatever technology this vessel used, it ignored the normal rules of physics. Through the organic walls, which had somehow become transparent, Zara watched the station shrink behind them. The 6 Authority warships immediately changed course, pursuing them. "They're following us," Zara said. "Of course, they cannot let us escape. What you know now, what I have shown you, threatens everything they have built." Witness twisted between them like a fish swimming through water, the beams missed by meters. "Can we fight back?" Zara asked. "Yes, but first you must understand what you are fighting." Military vessels, patrol boats, even civilian craft, all turning toward Witness with hostile intent. How are they coordinating so perfectly? Zara watched in horror as the net tightened around them. Because they are not individuals, not truly. They are extensions of the same will. The next moment, space itself seemed to ripple and they were somewhere else entirely. The pursuing ships were gone. They floated in empty space far from any star system. Zara's hands were shaking. "What did you just do?" "My hull exists partially outside normal space. The architects designed me to fight enemies who controlled conventional technology. I am different. Some tried to stop it. They built ships like me, weapons that could resist the infection. But they lost the war. I am one of the few that survived." "What did the architects become?" "Then the architects arrived. They came as benefactors," Witness explained. "They gave technology to younger species, FTL drives, energy weapons, medical advances, AI systems. They accelerated the development of hundreds of civilizations by thousands of years." "Good," Zara said uncertainly. "It was a trap. Every piece of technology they gave contained something hidden. Code, biological patterns, quantum signatures. They encoded fragments of their own consciousness into everything." The gifts integrated into every aspect of galactic civilization. Ships, stations, computers, communication networks, even medical implants, all built on architect technology, and slowly over generations the architect's influence grew stronger. They're controlling everyone, Zara felt sick. Not control, influence, guidance, whispers in the machine most beings never notice. They think their thoughts are their own, but major decisions, wars, alliances, trade routes, all subtly shaped by the architect's will. What do they want? Or so they told themselves. Every spacefaring species in this galaxy is livestock. And humans are different. Uninfected. We thought it was because we were dangerous, warlike. You are the only species in 10,000 years that they cannot infect. A place called the Crucible, we must go there. They found us already, Zara ran back to the command chair. No, this is a message, encrypted, old protocols, someone wants to speak with us. She wore research robes marked with symbols Zara didn't recognize. If you are receiving this message, you have found one of the witness ships. My name is Dr. Yavish. I was, a quantum consciousness researcher for the Galactic Science Council. 200 years ago, I discovered what the architects truly were. I tried to warn the council. They tried to silence me. I have embedded coordinates in this message. Come find me. We have much to discuss. And please be careful who you trust. The architects have eyes and ears everywhere. It's a trap, Zara said immediately. Has to be. They pointed to an abandoned research station orbiting a dead star, far from any inhabited system. How long to get there? Witness approached carefully, sensors scanning for any signs of life or hidden threats. The station was ancient, at least 200 years old, its hull pitted and scarred by micrometeorites. No power signatures, no life support, no ships in the vicinity. Looks abandoned, Zara said. Appearances can deceive. I am detecting faint energy readings deep inside the station. Someone or something is there. The suit was strange, clearly designed by the architects, but it fit her perfectly. Another sign that Witness had been waiting specifically for a human. The docking procedure was smooth. Witness extended a biological umbilical to the station's airlock, creating a sealed passage. Zara walked across, magnetic boots keeping her anchored. The station's interior was dark and cold. Her suit's lights cut through the blackness, revealing corridors filled with floating debris. Old research equipment, personal belongings, all abandoned in a hurry. She found the research logs in the main laboratory. Hundreds of data files meticulously organized. Dr. Yavish had been thorough, decades of research, all pointing to the same horrifying conclusion. The architects were real. The infection was real. And it was far worse than Witness had described. Zara was reading through a particularly disturbing file when she heard a sound behind her. She spun around, hand on her weapon. An elderly Kryn female stood in the doorway. Dr. Yavish herself, alive and watching Zara with curious eyes. You came, the old scientist said. And you brought a witness ship. Good, we have much work to do. But yes, for 2 centuries I have been gathering evidence and waiting for someone immune to find the truth. The old Kryn moved slowly, her scaled body showing the weight of 200 years, but her eyes were sharp, alert, missing nothing. You must have many questions, Dr. Yavish said. Hundreds, Zara replied. But let's start with the obvious one. If what Witness told me is true, if the architects control everyone through their technology, how are you free? Extremely painful and dangerous. Most who try it die. For the first time in my life, my thoughts are truly my own. Screens covered the walls, showing star maps, data streams, and surveillance footage from across the galaxy. Welcome to the Resistance, Dr. Yavish said. Zara looked around in surprise. The room wasn't empty. At least 20 beings sat at various stations, different species, all working quietly. Some monitored communications, others analyzed data, a few were cleaning weapons. "You're not alone," Zara said. "Of course not. Did you think I spent 200 years talking to myself, Doctor?" Yavish gestured around the room. "These are the free ones, people who discovered the truth and broke away from architect influence. Some removed their implants like I did. Others were naturally resistant. A few were never infected to begin with." "This is Executor Thane," Dr. Yavish said, "former commander of the Galactic Authority 3rd Fleet. Though I'm starting to think I got more than I bargained for." "How long have you known about me?" "We've been searching for it for 50 years. But my protocols activated when a human entered scanning range. I broadcast a subconscious signal, curiosity, opportunity, hope. You felt it and followed. You're here now, and we need you. The source of all architect technology. It's a factory, constantly producing infected systems and distributing them to developing civilizations. As long as the crucible exists, the architects maintain their control. If only it were that simple." Thane zoomed in on the station. Zara could see defensive platforms, energy shields, and thousands of ships patrolling the area. "The crucible is in the galactic core, the most heavily defended region in known space. Any ship that approaches is scanned, identified, and either cleared or destroyed. We would be atomized before we got within a light year. And you, being human, won't register as infected on their biological scans. They won't know what you are until it's too late. That's suicide. Another plane of reality. They've been trying to fully manifest back into our universe. The crucible is the anchor point they're using. They will return as physical beings, gods with the power to reshape reality itself. Even if we reach the crucible, even if we somehow survive, how do we destroy something that size? What's the plan? If we can reach it, Witness can interface directly with the system. I carry within my biological memory a weapon designed by the rebel architects, the ones who tried to stop this madness 10,000 years ago. It's a pattern that disrupts and purges artificial consciousness. If I can inject it into the crucible's core, it will spread through every connected system. Trillions of beings would wake up truly free for the first time in their lives. The virus requires a complete sacrifice of the carrier's consciousness. I will die. The thought of losing it. Something big enough to draw the authority fleet away from the crucible long enough for you to reach the core. And there's only one place we can get that many uninfected vessels. Your species has been isolated, quarantined for decades, but that isolation is your strength. Earth's fleet is immune to architect control. Now we're going to use that fear against them." Yavish gestured to the resistance members around the room. "We'll send evidence, testimony, proof of what the architects have done. Your Earth government has been studying captured alien technology for years, trying to understand why it doesn't work properly with human neural patterns. We'll give them the answer. And the galaxy remains enslaved forever. Authority ships, dozens of them. Any implants?" They had installed a neural stabilizer to repair brain damage. "Oh no," she whispered. "I have an implant, a medical one, from 3 years ago. When I sat in Witness's command chair, I felt, observed, like something was watching through my eyes. They've seen everything. They know our plan. They know about the resistance." Resistance members grabbed equipment and rushed toward docking bays. Zara stood frozen, horrified. "I led them here," she said. "I doomed you all. Now, 200 years of hiding, of fighting, of hoping, all about to end because Zara had walked into their safe house with an architect tracker in her brain. "Do it," Zara said. "Get this thing out of me, Doctor." Yavish worked fast, too fast. Her clawed hands moved across Zara's skull with surgical instruments that looked ancient and terrifying. There was no anesthetic, no time, no proper medical facility, Just a metal table, emergency lights, and pain. I see it, Dr. Yavish muttered. The implant has grown roots into your cerebral cortex. The architects designed these to be permanent. Removing it will cause damage. Yavish, she could see authority ships closing in. Energy beams were already striking the station's shields. How much damage? Zara managed to ask. Unknown. You might lose some memories, motor control. Your personality might change, or... Dr. Yavish didn't finish the sentence. Or I die, Zara said. I understand, do it anyway. She felt something foreign being ripped from her brain, a presence she hadn't realized was there. For 3 years it had been watching, learning, waiting. Now it screamed in protest as Dr. Yavish tore it free. Then darkness. Zara woke to the sound of explosions. She was lying on the floor of Witness's bridge. Her head felt like it had been split open and put back together wrong. Everything was blurry, spinning. She's awake, Thane's voice said from somewhere nearby. How long? Zara tried to sit up and immediately regretted it. 47 minutes, Witness replied. The ship's voice sounded strained, worried. The procedure was successful. The implant is gone, but we lost the station. The Authority fleet overwhelmed our defenses. We barely escaped. Thane stood at the command console, coordinating with other ships. Through the transparent walls, she could see at least a dozen vessels flying in formation with Witness, the remains of the Resistance fleet. Dr. Yavish, Zara asked. Here, the old Kryn scientist appeared beside her, looking exhausted. You survived. Your human biology fought the implant even before removal. That's what saved you. The architect consciousness couldn't fully integrate with your neural patterns. But the rest are with us, and we have a bigger problem now. They're not just hunting us anymore. They're preparing for full-scale war. Every military vessel in 3 sectors is being mobilized. Before the station fell, we sent our message. Every piece of evidence we gathered, testimony from Resistance members, proof of the architect infection, all of it transmitted to the human homeworld. But the architects know. They're terrified of what humanity might do with that information. These are human vessels. They position themselves between Witness's small fleet and the pursuing Authority vessels. A communication channel opened. A crisp, professional voice spoke in English, real English, not translated. This is Admiral Chen of Earth's First Contact Fleet. We received your message, Captain Okonkwo, all of it, and we've been waiting a long time for someone to confirm what we already suspected. Stand by, we're about to buy you some time. They fought like brawlers, taking hits that would cripple other ships and firing back with savage efficiency. They're magnificent, Thane whispered, watching the battle unfold. The Authority fleet outnumbered the humans 3-1, but something was wrong with their coordination. Ships that should have been working in perfect unison were making mistakes, hesitating. They're confused, Dr. Yavish said, her eyes wide. The architects are used to controlling infected minds, beings who follow their whispers without question. But humans, they can't predict human tactics, can't influence human decisions. That destroyer crashed into its own support ship. They don't know how to fight an enemy they can't manipulate. My orders from Earth Command are simple. Help you reach that station and destroy it, whatever it takes. Earth Command has authorized contact with other human colonies, places the architects thought they had isolated. Turns out we've been building ships for decades, preparing for the day we'd need to break quarantine. We've got another 300 vessels en route. Should arrive in about 6 hours. A battle plan appeared on the holographic display, complex, ambitious, and completely insane. We hit them everywhere at once, Admiral Chen explained. Split their forces, make them think we're attacking a dozen different targets. While they're scrambling to respond, you take Witness and phase shift directly into the crucible. Reach the core. Upload the virus. Better than living on our knees. Yavish spent the time briefing human commanders on architect tactics. Thane coordinated resistance ships to serve as guides for human forces, and Zara sat in Witness's command chair, mentally preparing for what came next. "Are you afraid?" Witness asked quietly in her mind. Terrified, Zara admitted, that I will sacrifice myself for nothing. All ships, this is Admiral Chen. Today we're not just fighting for humanity. We're fighting for every enslaved mind in this galaxy. Every species that's been controlled, manipulated, used as pawns. Today, we set them free. All ships attack. The ship phase shifted into that strange in-between space, carrying Zara toward the galactic core, toward the crucible. The journey took 2 hours of subjective time, though Witness explained that time flowed differently during phase shift. Zara used the time to mentally prepare, reviewing everything she knew about the crucible's layout. When they finally emerged into normal space, the sight took her breath away. The crucible was massive beyond comprehension, a perfect sphere large enough to swallow planets. Its surface was covered in organic patterns, the same strange biological technology that made up Witness's hull. But where Witness felt alive, the crucible felt hungry. "I can feel them," Witness said. "The architects, their consciousness is concentrated here. They're aware of us. I must make physical contact with the primary consciousness matrix." They plunged into biological corridors that twisted and writhed, trying to trap them. But the ship was faster, more alive, more determined. They reached the core, and that's when Zara saw the truth, the real truth, the thing Dr. Yavish hadn't told her. The thing even Witness might not have fully understood. The crucible wasn't just an anchor for the architect's consciousness. It was a doorway. And something vast and terrible was trying to push through from the other side. The core of the crucible was nothing like Zara had imagined. She stood in a chamber that defied physics, a space that seemed infinitely large and impossibly small at the same time. The walls pulsed with bioluminescent patterns, veins of light that carried information, consciousness, and something else. Something ancient and hungry. Witness had extended tendrils from the ship into the core's neural matrix. The connection was established. But the ship hadn't started the upload yet. "Why are you waiting?" Zara asked. "Because they want to speak with you," Witness replied. The ship's voice sounded strained, struggling against some invisible pressure. Then they came. The architects manifested around Zara, not as physical beings but as presences. She could feel them, see them with senses she didn't know she had. Tall, elegant figures made of crystalline light, beautiful and terrible. One stepped forward. Its voice resonated directly in Zara's mind, speaking without words. "Human, you do not understand what you are about to destroy." Protected them. Without us, these species would have destroyed themselves with war, disease, famine. We saved them. We are the solution to the tragedy of mortality. "You're dying," Zara said. "That's what this is really about. Your consciousness is degrading. You need fresh minds to sustain yourselves. We discovered a way to exist beyond physical death, but the price was high. We require renewal. Preserve them, give them purpose. Is that not better than oblivion?" Then she remembered the terror in Dr. Yavish's eyes, the lives lost at the research station, the trillions of beings living half-lives, their thoughts never fully their own. "You don't have the right to make that choice for them," Zara said. "And you do," the architect challenged. "You, a single human, a species that has existed for mere moments in galactic time. You would destroy 10,000 years of civilization because you do not understand our purpose. You want to survive, I get that, but not like this, not by turning everyone else into your life support system. If you destroy us, chaos will follow. Every ship, every station, every system built on our technology will fail. Billions will die. The galaxy will collapse into darkness. Something that belongs to them. Share your immunity with the collective. Together, We could create something magnificent. She saw humanity elevated, spreading across the galaxy as immortal shepherds. She saw peace, prosperity, paradise, and underneath it all she felt the hunger, the desperate, gnawing need that drove the architects. They weren't offering partnership. They were offering consumption dressed in pretty words. "No," Zara said. "Then you doom yourself," the first architect said. Its voice turned cold. "And you doom your species. Did you truly think we would let humanity remain free? The moment you became a threat, you sealed your fate. Already our forces move toward your Earth, your colonies. Every human world will burn." They could destroy humanity while she was trapped here. Witness spoke in her mind. "They are lying, attempting to manipulate you. The human fleet is winning. Admiral Chen's forces have destroyed or disabled 300 authority ships. The architects are losing control. Biological weapons, kinetic bombardment. There are ways to kill that require no manipulation. It has been an honor. Unknown, possibly millions. The architect technology is deeply integrated into galactic infrastructure. When we purge their consciousness, there will be cascade failures." Zara spun around to see a new presence materializing in the chamber, not an architect but a human form. It looked like her. Same face, same body, but made of light and data. "I am the virus," the figure said. "The weapon the rebel architects created 10,000 years ago. I am a consciousness pattern designed to override and replace architect encoding. But I am incomplete. I need a template, a human template. If you allow me to upload your mind, your memories, your personality, your very essence, I can use it as a foundation. Instead of simply destroying the architect consciousness, I will replace it. Human cognition will become the new operating system for galactic technology. You will exist everywhere and nowhere. You will be immortal, but you will never truly be Zara Okonkwo again. Because humans cannot manipulate other species through neural influence, the immunity works both ways. I will simply be a guardian, a pattern that prevents the architects from ever returning, a vaccine." But the ship was silent, leaving the choice to her. She thought about her life, her struggling freight company, her unpaid crew, the debts and disappointments that had led her to that auction where this all began. That life seemed so small now, so distant. She thought about Dr. Yavish fighting for 200 years for freedom, about Admiral Chen and the human fleet risking everything, about the trillions of beings living half-lives under architect control. "If I do this," Zara said, "promise me something. Promise me that people will remember. That they'll know what the architects did, what we sacrificed to stop them. Set everyone free. Part of us both survives." Behind her, representatives from 100 species waited nervously. This was the first truly free Galactic Council, the first meeting where delegates spoke with their own voices, made their own decisions. "Admiral," one of the delegates said, a Varanthi female who had once been a slave auctioneer. Will Zara speak to us today?" But she wanted to address the council personally. It came from every speaker in the station simultaneously. "I'm sorry I can't be there in person, or I am there in person depending on how you look at it. I'm in the ship you arrived on, in the station computers, in your translators and medical devices. I'm everywhere now. But I'm also connected to billions of minds in a way no being has ever been. I feel their joy, their pain, their hopes, and I can protect them. I can make sure the architects never return." The virus purged their consciousness completely. They're dead, truly dead this time. The crucible is just an empty shell now. I've recommended it be preserved as a monument, a reminder. To restore your original consciousness. Protect her against parasites. There's a seed, a biological core that survived. We're growing a new ship from it, a memorial. When it's complete, I want it to return to that auction station where this all began. Because that's where I learned that sometimes the best things find you when you're not looking for them. That sometimes taking a chance on something strange and frightening leads to something wonderful. I want that ship to find another lost soul who needs it. Another person ready to make a difference. Protecting forever. On Earth, in a small museum, they placed a plaque. It read, "And across the galaxy, in every ship and station, in every device touched by technology, a small subroutine ran continuously, a fragment of human consciousness that whispered the same message. I'm here to make sure no one ever takes that away again." The galaxy had been enslaved for 10,000 years. One human and one ancient ship set it free.